Good morning, bookers. Welcome to What the Book. I'm, of course, Cintra Sullivan, international best-selling author from Australia, land of down under, supposed to be warm all the time, but guess what? It's freaking not. It's cold this winter. I'm not happy. Well, no, I do. I am happier than I am in the summer, but now I babble. Good morning, MB Davis. Mark is in the house.
Hello. Yeah, it is our summer,
Yeah.
and I'm loving it. I'm not trying to rub it in, but, I am enjoying our summer. In Southern California, it's pretty nice weather all year round, and where I'm located. And I gotta say, it usually starts creeping up in the heat wise around this time of year, and it really hasn't. It's been very nice.
Very pleasant, nice.
So,
We've had the polar blast coming through. We've been hitting, and I mean, this is Queensland. I'm Queensland people, so we're in the tropics. We're close to the equator. We live with a fairly warm, moist temperature year round. But I tell you what, when it hits like 2 Celsius, I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? I have 4 blankets on my bed, people. 4 blankets on my bed.
what is that? What is that for the
For the Fahrenheit
the
people?
impaired? We're the impaired over here.
What is 0? 0 is like 36, I think, for you guys. So, it's around the 37, 38. It's cold. All right.
That's cold.
Sir, don't start on me already, Mr. Canadian. I live in the snow. Don't start on me. No, minus 20. I just wouldn't come out. There would be me in front of a fire somewhere. That's it. Nowhere else. Peyton Storm. Good morning, gorgeous. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm busy, but good.
Busy. Well, we're all a bit busy.
Busy.
Yes. Well, okay. Today, before I start, good morning, sir. Good morning, Brian. Who else have we got in the house? Has Tio arrived yet? No, he'll probably be in a little bit later, but we'll get there. Good morning. Who's that one? Mark Rob. Good morning, new people. I like it. Welcome, guys, into the studio. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate the support. Feel free to chime in. This is actually, we've had an unfortunate event. Our author has not shown up. Our guest has not shown up today, and one of the downfalls of being a live podcast is that we don't reschedule for anybody. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are, what you are, how big you are. One thing that I've always said about What the Book is that we go live. So that's the time, whether you're here or you're not. Life gets in the road sometimes. Things hap up. Problems arise that we can't control. We get that, no problem. We'll reschedule the guest for another time. There's no issue at all. But as of today, we get the trio. It's the 3 of us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
I love it.
Now, what I want to do is talk, and Peyton, you mentioned you're busy, so this might be a really good discussion for all of us. And I'm really interested in what the peanut gallery down below have to say too, about the difficulties of being in this industry. There's a lot of talk about the glamorous part of it and how wonderful it is when we produce a book and we can hold our babies and it smells so pretty and, wow, we have our name on a book and whatever else. But there's a dark side to it that we possibly fight more solo than we do publicly. Yes, sir, the peanut gallery, you. That we fight more privately because we don't necessarily, want to damage our brand. We don't want to damage our persona. We want everybody to think that we're coping, we're great, we're writing books, everything's brilliant. But there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that don't necessarily get discussed writing-wise. I think we might dive into a little bit of that today. What do you think? Are you brave enough, guys?
Well, I mean, I think I'm the opposite of that. I don't think anybody would say that I hide anything. I'm the stabby one of the 3, so yeah, I don't think I hold back much.
All right.
I also think that's another reason why people, why I make the connections that I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
You
yeah,
do keep it very
that's how I got
honest,
it.
Peyton. You do.
Oh yeah, yes,
I
I do.
respect you 100%. You do keep things very honest about how you write, and the challenges
Yes,
that go along with it. Um,
God, yes.
so the the difficulties of writing. Well, do you want to start, Peyton? Let's go. You start. What's your number one difficulty that you find being part of the writing industry?
For me, it's that constant feel like I'm a perfectionist.
Mm.
But the thing is, when you're writing, you can never get it perfect. And you never realize how imperfect it is until you've published it.
Yeah.
And that for me is a struggle. That
Mm.
is a struggle. So, I just finished going through for the umpteenth time going through the paperback for Hell's Bells, and I have little tag notes all over the place. So that's difficult. That is difficult when you've spent months on a project and it's finished and it's great and it's good to go, and then you're like, wait a minute. So that's what I'm kind of dealing with right now. So
Well, it's
yeah,
been through your eyes, it's been through Beta's eyes, it's been through the editor's eyes, it's been through
exactly.
proofreader's
Yes.
eyes, it's been through all of these sets of eyes, because you could be looking at up to 8, 10 different sets of eyes that this book has been through,
Yes.
and then you publish
And
it
there's still
going,
typos.
yes, you publish it going, oh, I've done it, and then sure enough, in a few
Where
days,
is that period?
a few
The
days
period is gone.
you get somebody messaging you go, page 63, line 5, you've missed
Yes.
this, or there's a comma where there should be this, or you put a capital or there
Yes.
isn't a capital, and you're just like, oh my God.
Yes.
It's one of the most
Yes.
frustrating things ever. I don't think I've ever
It is.
put a book out, and I've put a few out now, but I don't think I've ever put one out that has fully not not had at least one. And I mean, I deal with professionals. I don't backyard nothing. I deal with professionals.
Right.
There is a lot of
Right.
eyes. It's not just one set of eyes that go through my books. There's a lot of eyes that go through my books before it gets anywhere near a publishing point. And yet still, there will be at least one typo in there, always.
The good thing about that, for me at least, is it happens in trad too.
It does. It does.
It does. Absolutely.
A lot. So
Oh yeah,
I'm
some
like,
of my favorite books. Yeah, absolutely.
yes. So that right there, I'm just I have to keep reminding myself of that. Otherwise, I just want to set it all on fire and be done. So it's like, no, I can't deal with it. That's what I'm dealing with right now. So I finished it and then I put it in a drawer, and I don't want to look at it right now. So I'll deal with it again in another day or so.
I have one of my most prized possessions that I own is you guys know Charlene Harris. She wrote one of my favorites,
yeah.
paranormal series, which is the Sookie series,
Yes.
which is the True Blood for those who watch shows more than read books. It's the True Blood series. Charlene Harris, she's written a lot of books, but that's one of my favorite series. And then she brought out a new series, Texas. It was a Texas one. I don't have it in front of me. I really should go grab it. Anyway, I won a signed beta copy of it. So before it went into the publishing, before it went through its final read through, and I have a copy of it, and it's signed, and the amount of typos and errors in it is just beautiful. I love it because I sit there and go, we're all the same.
You're human.
Yes, she's one of my secret mentors, and we all have secret mentors. They don't know they're our mentor, but we certainly look up to them. And
yes.
I can look through this book and just go, yes, I'm normal. It's okay to have that many typos and errors, and and crap in your drafts, even at a beta reading stage. So even, you've read it through a couple of times, you've done your self-edit, and you've sent it off to people to read, and it's still a bit crappy. It's great. I love it. It's very validating.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Mark, what's your number one challenge when it comes to being part of the writing industry?
Yeah, I mean, I guess being not yet published, it's really been finding the right people that you can share your work with, that really not only get what you're writing in terms of that's something they enjoy reading, but that they also have enough skill to kind of give you, it's really just finding your tribe and giving you good kind of beta feedback, not just telling you, oh, this is great, but something that's constructive. And that's been a challenge for me. It's taken a while for me to find those people that really just find like they get what I'm writing and can give me that good feedback.
Yeah.
As great as the online, writing community is, and it's fantastic. And I'm so grateful to have found it on Twitter and even now on TikTok and other things. It's man, it's still a challenge. There's so many people with so many different points of view about what they like, how they think stylistically something should be written, because it's just so varied out there.
Yeah.
And it's not like there's a wrong answer and a right answer, but it's like people that get you and what you're trying to do.
But this dives a little bit back into what Peyton said, is that if you're a perfectionist, which, I think we kind of all are to some degree.
Yeah.
What can be perfect to you will undoubtedly be not perfect to somebody else. I don't know how many times I've been pulled up on different phrases. Yeah, exactly. On different phrases or different uses of words that come from my heritage that doesn't compute with the reader, who says that I'm wrong. And that's fine. It's not perfect for them, but it's perfect for me. And it's very subjective. Perfection is very, very subjective. I'm going to dive a little bit into some questions that are being put up
it's
in here.
rooting, not... Sir's misbehaving.
I didn't say rooting. Did I say rooting?
No, he was given an example.
Oh, rutting, as in, yes, rooting is very different in Australia.
People who are rooting for you, but we mean that in the American sense.
Oh, God. I remember the first time I heard that, and I've just pictured everybody, screwing in celebration of what I was doing. And I'm just like, are you serious? This is what you do when you celebrate somebody? I mean, okay, but
you've made it.
She's like, man, America is crazy over there.
Because when you sit there and go, oh, everybody's rooting for the Super Bowl, then you just sit there going, that's a lot of sex going on, but okay.
It's not entirely.
I knew you liked your football, but come on now. Wow.
Ball play on a whole different level.
Yeah.
Okay. I love different words that just mean something so very different over here. I want to dive into a little bit of what's being said in the chat too for people who are playing along. Falling into characters who have different personalities, as Steve mentioned earlier in one of his comments, the darkness. Okay. So you're writing a character, you're writing the villain, you're writing the bad guy. Not all bad guys are likable. I do like a villain. I do tend to, if you're looking at, take it Thor and Loki, I will always barrack for Loki because he is so much more my flavor than what Thor is. But, I like the darkness. I like the danger of a bad guy. But sometimes you have to write a bad guy that is really just bad. There is no redeeming features of that villain. And getting stuck in their headspace can be a very tricky maze to run. Mark, have you come across this in one of your characters?
I try and make sure that I've got I understand their point of view, even if I don't agree with it. I think it's so important that a character has,
A voice.
you understand their motivation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they are the hero of their own story. It's just that their story is much, much darker than the actual hero. So it's just as important to have a character, whether they're good or bad, that you really understand what drives them. Because everyone's motivated by something,
Yes.
whether it be something that's good or that's bad, and they're shaped by their environment and all of that. So I mean, I do think of them in terms of like heroes and villains or protagonists and antagonists, but I find that what I've done so far is how I craft them is very much the same process. It's very much asking the same questions.
Yeah.
It's just you're throwing different things at this person and what their life has led them to than this other one over here. So it is trickier. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but I think the process is a lot more similar than it is different when you're creating these characters.
Do you think that even creating, and I mean, I've got one character that springs to mind, and he some of his scenes made me walk away from the laptop. Literally, I had to stand up and walk away because I could not deal with what was going on at the time. So that was the intensity.
You need to drop that title.
It was the last book in a series, and he had built up through the entire series, and by the time you got to number 7 in that book, he was one of the most unpleasant characters to write, and for people playing at home who know me, my characters are real, like they talk to me. I don't speak for them, so he was a very unpleasant character to deal with. But okay, so his drive was power. His drive was a hunger for power. He needed dominance. He needed the power at any cost. At any cost. Do you think that if you have a character that, as Sir just mentioned, may be irredeemable, that there should be some aspect that makes the reader still be palatable? Should we still, have some thread on a character, even irredeemable ones, that make the reader perhaps either understand, empathize, or even root for them? I love using that word, root for them to find the lighter side. What do you think?
I don't think they have to be. I think they can be. I think it's about what motivates or drives them, like I said before, and I don't think you have to like any aspect of what they stand for. I would say the book that I'm writing, I don't want to say too much, but there's nothing that's good about this character. There's nothing at all, and you're not meant to like this character, but you're going to get to understand why they're doing the things they're doing.
So the origin of that character.
It's important that to me, it's important that it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? If someone's just mustache twirling and says, I'm going to be bad and take over things and do bad things and hurt people. Okay, but why?
Yeah.
Explain to me why this character or this monster or whatever this is, why are they doing this? Right? I mean, everyone's got to eat and survive. Maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe there's something more to it that motivates them. But help me understand that. That's what makes them interesting. Yeah, you can sprinkle on that spice of, hey, you have this little interesting thing that, I can see their point of view and kind of agree. You got your Thanos from, the Marvel stuff where it's like, okay, that was really terrible. He tried to kill half the universe, whatever. But, I mean, he had a point, kind of, so, there's almost something to kind of like about him a little bit. And he's purple. So,
he's purple. Yeah. I think that's what I like about Loki in the Marvel factor, is that he's not really bad nor good. He's just self-absorbed. If it works for him, I'm okay with it. If it doesn't, he's not okay with it. He's very Loki orientated, and I kind of like that side,
Yeah.
that middle line character. So because you can, empathize with it. As a reader, though, like the character that springs to mind in mine, it was over a 7-book series. So the reader knew that this character right from the beginning was an unstable dude. So, by the time they got to book 7, they knew that this was not going to be a pleasant ending. And so you built up that sort of origin and the empathy with the readers, because they understood where he was coming from. They just, you're not supposed to like them. You are not supposed to like them. That's the whole point of having a villain or having a bad guy, is that people have somebody that they love to hate. You love to hate them. Peyton, how do you deal with the bad guys?
Well, I mean, I think it's different for me just because of the difference in genre.
Yes.
And I don't, I write like what it would be considered like turbulent romance. I mean, it's never smooth sailing. There's always something. And all of my heroes and heroines for that matter are all pretty much morally gray. So that's something I like to do just because I don't like the whole like everything is rainbows and cupcakes approach.
Mm,
Um, and so I like writing characters that people fall in love with and feel guilty about doing so.
yeah.
So I like to kind of play with that a little bit as far as like someone who's completely that isn't redeemable. That's really not something that I have to deal with in mine because there are aspects of, and we talked about this I think last week it was when we talked about like shock factors and stuff like that. I don't add that. So when you're looking at a romance book, I don't have characters who like rape will never take place on my page.
Mm,
Things like that.
mm.
Okay, so those types of things will never happen on my page. So I don't really have that level of character that would be unredeemable. I just have characters that you may question your moral compass for rooting for them.
This is going to be the word of today's podcast, isn't it? I love it. Yeah, I get that. Especially in the genre that you write.
Yeah, yeah,
And you can have, you know, villains to a degree, because even in a turbulent romance, you get,
yeah.
men or women or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
who do the wrong thing, who betray, who, cross a path, cross a line that breaks up relationships and so forth on. So you're still going to
Oh,
have
yeah. I have that for
that
sure.
villainous feeling to a person. The reader's going to be sitting there going, oh, I don't like you, that was,
Right.
so you get that same reaction out of your readers.
Right, right. It's just I think when you're thinking about a villain in a romance novel versus a villain in a fantasy, I don't know that always kind of lines up just because of the actions that may take place. Because, my villain could go out with somebody else, whereas somebody else's villain beheaded like 3 people at the circus or something. So
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
that's why I guess I just don't use that word when it comes to how I write, because in my mind a villain, I have this like very specific like I guess description
yeah,
in my mind, and it's just not something that's in my books.
yeah. No, I get that.
Morally gray, yes,
Morally grey,
absolutely,
morally grey
yes.
villains. Apparently
Yeah.
your
Yes.
volume's still really low.
I
What
know,
is
and I
with
don't know
that?
one.
I can
I
hear you
don't know.
perfectly. It doesn't, it sounds perfect to me. I'm not understanding where the problem is. Mark, does it sound okay to you?
It sounds a little bit low,
Really?
but it sounded a little bit louder at the start. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to blame the internet
Because you
because
all sound great to me.
Yeah,
oh,
and
thank
you
you.
both sound really great. I mean, you're crystal
I
clear.
mean, we are pretty awesome.
I know, you are. It's clear but low, apparently. And yes, the level
Yeah.
of character, the level of villainous, or if I get the word villain, you tend to think top level bad guy.
Right, that's where my
Where
mind
morally
goes.
grey is more
Right.
of a lower level bad guy. he might be, screwing the side piece, but he's not killing her, as
Right.
opposed to a villain
Exactly.
might be, taking that extra step. Although
Yeah.
I'm only, for those playing at home, I'm only just watching The Boys. Have you guys seen The Boys? The TV series
I
on Prime?
Yes and no. I stopped
No, I
watching, but
haven't.
I watched like I think I finished the first season.
Oh.
Or I made it close to the end. So, but I know what you're talking about.
I'm
It's crazy.
only on like episode 3 of it, and Morally Grey would be very. This is like the whole lot of them. Very
See,
morally
that's a
grey.
perfect. See, it's like I like to think of The Boys kind of. It's almost like Game of Thrones, but it's like superheroes or something. It's pretty brutal, and it's all over the place. Like anybody could do anything at any time.
Yeah,
And you can
well,
have stories like that. That's the beautiful thing, right? I mean,
absolutely.
each of these characters they have their own motivations, they have their own point of view, and you just kind of put them all in a room and shake them up and see what happens, and
you know
crazy
what,
stuff
though?
happens.
Some of the most amazing villains actually commit no physical crimes of their own. They have other people do them for them.
Right.
Some of the most diabolical minds or characters that have been developed.
That's what I like.
Yeah, developed in the literary world or in the movies or wherever you want to put your villains. Some of the most diabolical ones actually do nothing themselves. And are very soft spoken and are very calm and just truly bone chillingly creepy. They're some of the most well written bad guys to me. The ones that get inside your head. They don't necessarily splatter you with blood and gore, but they get inside your head and they start eating it away from in there. They're truly very cool characters to write. Tell me, next question about, do you think if I was to ask, I'll start with Peyton, if I was to ask your characters, are they happy with how you wrote their story? What do you think they'd say?
Ooh. I think for the most part, in the end, yes. Again, it goes back to the genre that I write. I think mainly they would ask, why did you put me through so much, along the way? I think that would be the biggest thing is like, why was the journey so difficult? Because like I said, I need chaos in those relationships. And that's another reason why I write dual point of view, because I want that, those ups and downs, those misconceptions, they have this conversation. She's looking at it one way, he's looking at it another. I just like that kind of chaos. So I do like to, make my readers angry, I guess. And I do like to pull at the heartstrings too. So I think my characters would be like, thanks, but like, couldn't we have gotten here a little easier?
Yeah. Mark, do you think your characters are satisfied with how you have done it?
I think so. I'm obviously working on it, but I'm thinking about not just the current book I've worked on, but there's some short stories that come to mind, and I think, as long as I've been able to kind of stay true to who they are as a person, I've had a number of characters. Well, like the current book that I'm writing, I tend to write in third person, so I'm same as Peyton in that sense, where I'm giving you multiple points of view in my longer stuff. But I've had some people read stuff and they were like, "Oh wow, so you're writing from mostly teenagers in this particular story. 2 of them are girls and 1 of them's a boy." I've had people tell me that's kind of brave that you're writing from different teenage girl perspectives, and I'm like, I don't know, I didn't even think about it. I just dove in and started doing it. It's like, this is this person and this is their journey, and off we go.
But you also have a teenage girl, so you can draw from real life factors on how
they're very different than my daughter. But yeah, in a general
Yeah.
sense, I guess that's true. But I think you can write from any. I mean, I also have written from people's perspective who are much older than I am, and I haven't gotten to that phase of life. So I mean, I think you just have to stay true to who do you think this person is, and continue keeping in mind what their growth is over the course of the story is going to be, their character arc, and then what are the things that are going to be the strongest to kind of come against that.
Do you think your characters like how you've done their story?
Yeah, I think so. I think because if I feel like I've stayed true to who they are, then I'm guessing they would be fine with that. They're not going to, same as Peyton, they're not going to like all the crap that I'm putting them through. They're over there in the corner going, munching on, Cheetos going, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm sorry, it's not that I don't like you, but there's people that are going to be reading what you're going through, and if you're just talking to someone on the phone chewing the fat, that's not going to be very exciting. So this terrible thing's going to happen. Sorry. Okay, bye. And you start typing. It's just what you have to do,
it does.
I don't think they hold it against me. I don't think they hold it against me.
No. I don't take responsibility for my characters, whether they like it or they don't like it. They freaking did it, not me. So I don't care. It's like, you did your own shit here. I didn't do it, so whatever. The only complaint I ever get is because I write multiple series and I don't do them consecutively. I will dive from different series to different series as the characters talk to me. Whoever talks, when I finish a book, I wait a week or so, and then I start to listen again, and whatever voice comes through the loudest is the book that then I will write. So I can jump around from different series depending on who wants to talk. The only complaint I ever get is from ones who are a little impatient. Yes, I would be looking primarily at Carr because he is probably my most impatient character of all of them. He's very much a diva king. Yeah. But, when you're talking about writing from point of views, that's a tricky question or a tricky thing because, I write paranormal. I obviously have no idea what it's like to be a vampire or the Reaper or a centaur or a dragon or a witch or any of this. I have no idea what it's like to be that. So, I can't necessarily write from personal experience, and I can't go to Vampires Anonymous and write, do some research there. I can't.
How cool would that be, though?
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great?
Knock on the door.
The Dragon Shifters monthly meeting.
Hello.
Okay, hey, how do you keep your scales clean? Like, do you get a little toothbrush in there? Like, what you do? What sort of cream do you use so they don't flake? That would be great. It doesn't happen. So writing, I'm not a big supporter in that whole, and I mean, that is a big movement of you should only write from what you know. Well, I can't, so sucks to be you. I do think, as we've said before on the show, I do believe you do your research. I do believe you do your sensitivity readers if you need to, if you think you might be crossing into the path of any oncoming trains, you do that. So you make sure that you stay off the tracks and you get that sort of stuff sorted. But, you should not always be only limited to writing what you know. I don't agree with that because my whole book things would be gone. I wouldn't be writing a single thing. I'd be out. Interesting question. This is a tricky one. Like, are you ready for a ball buster question?
Uh-oh.
Like, really, you're going to have to.
I'm a plotter. Is that the answer?
No.
Answer a plotter? No, that's not it? Okay, go ahead.
No. This is tricky, and I'm interested to hear not only our three, but what is said maybe in the room as well. What's it? Peyton's going to Vampire Anonymous, AA, Vampire meetings. Are you?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm running the.
I saw that too. I'm not sure what's happening.
I don't know if I'm running
I'm like,
from
what?
responsibility, but I should be. I should be. All right. The question is, what, in your opinion, we could probably get into trouble for this. So send hate mail to me. I'm okay. I'm writing the question. I'm writing it down. I'm saying the question. So send the hate mail to me. What is, in your opinion, the most unethical practice in the publishing industry today?
Ooh,
I know.
my goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. Ooh.
What do you think, Peyton?
Oh my goodness. Okay. That may take a minute, to be honest.
All right.
I mean,
Well, I'll go first if you want, because I've been thinking about it.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
I think and it is in my view, so hate mail me all you want. The most unethical practice in the publishing industry is promises, the promise of things. I don't care if you're an agent. I don't care if you're an editor. I don't care if you're a publisher, a producer, a screenwriter. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of promises that get done. Just because you sign a contract does not promise you anything. Just because you publish a book, it does not promise you anything. Just because you hit a chart on one book, it doesn't promise you income. There's so many promises being made in the publishing industry. Like there was only, was it last week? I saw that one of my friends on Twitter, who was with an agent, the entire agency shut down without any warning. Just shit, done, see you bye.
No.
And so all of these authors that had their books with this agent, and it was a small press. It wasn't just an agent. It was a small press. They were doing the whole shebang. Just shut up shop. No warning, not anything. Just shut up shop, leaving the entirety of their clientele up in the air. Like, where does the contract stand? How do you get out of them? And this sort of stuff, people don't understand that if you sign a contract, to get out of contracts is really, really difficult and normally costs a lot of money to get out of a contract that you've signed. So if you sign a contract, please read the fine print, because it is not normally in your best interest. I've seen a lot of contracts. I've had a lot thrown at me. I have yet to sign one because some of the fine print of what they own of your words for time that you have not allowed. Like, you read that fine print, it's very eye-opening. And so be very, very careful about doing that sort of thing. I'm not saying that there are not legit businesses out there. There are absolutely fantastic publishing, small press agents out there that are just amazing. But there is a lot of bad apples in the industry that promise things that they cannot deliver, and that is unethical. And you're dealing with people's dreams. You are crushing people with promises that you cannot do, and I hate that. All right, that is my box. I will stand on it. All right, what say you two?
Peyton, you want to go first, or you want me to go?
You can go.
Okay. So it's one umbrella that has three things, but stealing.
Right.
Okay. That's so prong number one, people just outright downloading or pirating stuff. That's terrible.
Yes.
Right? Don't do that.
Yes.
You're hurting the artists that make the work, and the publishers who are the honest publishers who are helping those artists get their material out there. Don't do that. That's number one. Number two is there are, and it saddens me to see this happening, but another type of stealing is where people, maybe an indie or someone will literally copy the contents of one book and republish it as something else and put it up there. And they may change 10%. Plagiarizing. It's stealing. Plain and simple. And so that's terrible that when you see something like that. And there are safeguards against it, but you can't, it's not perfect. And so just people shouldn't do that. I mean, I think we all learned that in grade school. Like, plagiarism is wrong.
Yes.
It's just, And then the last one, and this is a big one. There's, this saddens me because, there's a lot, and you probably saw a lot of this online. And I'm going to throw Disney under the bus here, even though mostly I love Disney. They bought out Star Wars. They bought out a lot of Marvel and companies, and Star Wars in particular. They have a lot of authors that published under, that. When George Lucas was running the company, and they had a whole publishing arm of Star Wars, of Lucasfilm and all that. And those authors, as people would buy those books, they get paid their royalties on them, right? So unfortunately, Disney opted to stop paying royalties to many of those authors, even though those books are still selling, right?
Really?
They own the rights to those books, but
Wow.
they do not pay the authors what they're due, but they're making the money. So
Oh, that's horrible.
it's terrible. And,
Yeah.
it's a rough industry anyway, but when you factor in something like stealing, I just think
Especially
we
from
all
a
know
company
better. It's
as
something,
big as Disney. You're not looking at
right,
small press. You're looking at a
Right.
multi-billion-dollar industry company.
absolutely.
This
They
is,
have the means. Yeah.
that's shocking. Interesting you mentioned plagiarizing. People need to understand what plagiarizing actually is. It's copying, it's quoting it, it's owning it as yours and making a profit from it. I've been accused of
Yes.
plagiarizing a joke. Yeah, did you all see that joke that went friggin' viral on my page? I mean, seriously, 107,000 likes on it, which was just stupid because it was an old joke, right? An old coyote joke that everybody knows. It's a joke that's been around since, I don't know, they started chiseling words onto clay. But some dude was just like, published authors that plagiarize jokes. And I'm like, well, it's a known joke, mate. I didn't claim it as mine and I'm not profiting off it. So it's not actually plagiarizing. Before you start using the P word, understand what it is. Because I had, there was an author not that long ago who had it was a large chunk of her book that was plagiarized by another author, and they didn't even, it had been done for like a year or so, and they didn't know until a reader happened to read both and went, hang on a minute, this is very similar.
Yeah.
And this author had been making money off it for months and months and months, but it wasn't until a reader happened to read both in a time that you could make the connection between them. So it's a very, plagiarism's terrible. I don't even want to tell you how many thousands, and I mean it's thousands of dollars I've lost to pirating sites. It's absolutely crazy. I cannot remove them fast enough for the amount that pop up there. I think I've got every single one of my books on pirating sites at some point. And they're selling it and they're making money and I get not a cent of it. And it's got to be up around $20,000 that I've lost so far in pirating.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. And you can't do anything about it. There's nothing you can do. You can get one taken down. I can do all the right things and send the paperwork and demand that they take it down, and then they do, and then it pops back up on a different site somewhere else and off you go. It doesn't, you can't stop it. It's just hideous and it is stealing. And it is very much unethical and very wrong, Mark. You're very right. Peyton, what's a month? Come on, you've got to saddle up now. It's your turn.
Yes, I am ready. Okay, so, and this is mainly in regards to my own genre. But for me, the biggest issue that I'm seeing right now is the attempt to romanticize crimes against humanity.
Right. Oh.
There have been, and I kid you not, and when I say that this is, and I'm talking about trad publishing, I am tired of seeing where the hostage falls in love with the Nazi soldier. I'm tired of seeing the slave fall in love with their owner. There's nothing romantic about that. And it shouldn't be, I mean, it's so, I mean, out of all the things that you could do, you can't take something that is one of the biggest stains on human history.
Absolutely.
and romanticize it for money. I don't like that at all. And for me, that goes beyond shock factor.
Yeah.
For me, that is so incredibly tone deaf
Yeah,
that
exactly.
it is just nauseating. And this was recent. When I say recent, I'm saying within the past month.
Oh,
I
wow.
came across a book that is about to come out, and traditionally published, mind you, and it's literally about somebody falling in love with their captor who is a Nazi soldier.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
How does a person look at the Holocaust and go, hey, you know what would be great?
But now keep in mind, here's the thing. Here's what
Jeez.
I mean, this is traditionally published.
How did
Think
that
of
get
all
past
the-
trad and mine
exactly.
doesn't?
How-
What the hell,
How
people?
many how many eyes saw that and were like, yeah, that's fine.
That's going to sell.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's going to
That's
sell.
crazy.
Exactly.
That fits
And that's just
the
one example.
mainstream, sure. That doesn't fit. That's horrible. That's just.
It is, yeah. I mean, you can't. No.
There's nothing of that period that should be glamorized or romanticized. It's just nothing of that period that was redeemable. It's just a horrific stain on our histories, and it shouldn't be done. And to be picked up by a trad publisher is just ridiculously stupid.
Oh yeah, I mean it was, and like Sarah just mentioned in the comments, the whole white savior.
Yeah.
That's for me. It's like, how is this still so rampant? Like, how are we doing this? But it comes up. I swear, it comes up like once every, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, some book that's about to be published that is so incredibly problematic in so many ways. How is it getting past all of these eyes? How are all these people looking at this and saying, this is okay?
Yeah, this is where sensitivity readers are the heroes.
Well, I mean,
in the
is
industry.
it though? Is it? Because
if they engage them, it doesn't sound like they did.
But see, my thing is, who needs a sensitivity reader to tell you?
You shouldn't read that.
Well, you shouldn't.
Where like this starved woman who's like in a concrete jail and falling in love with her Nazi captor. Like what?
Yeah.
Like no.
It shouldn't have got past It shouldn't have got past the querying. You should have read that first 3 chapters and went, no. Sorry.
No.
I mean the writing industry.
The hardest of passes.
I'm not big on censorship. I'm not big on censorship. I will say that right from the word go. I do believe in the freedom that we should have to write what we want to write. I'm not going to downgrade that for any subject. However, if you're going to cross into that kind of scenario, I hope it burns really, really badly, because you should be able to write what you want to write. However, I don't think that writing that sort of stuff, I don't think you should want to write that sort of stuff. I don't think you should see the history and want to write that. That just seems obscure.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a question of censorship. It's just a question of like everyone should have some kind of basic common decency.
Common decency,
like
exactly.
If someone walks into a room.
There's nothing about those instances that screams entertainment to me.
No, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's like if someone walks into a room and makes a statement that obviously everyone is offended by, that person needs to be like, why didn't I know that was okay to make that statement? Like if someone says, well, if someone walks into a room and goes, oh man, that Hitler, he was hot. That dude was freaking smoking, right? And everyone's going to be like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, get out.
So you have the freedom.
There's certain things you don't say.
But you have the freedom to say it. This is the thing, though. You have the freedom to say it. We have the freedom to write it. How it's taken or how it's palletized or how it's consumed by people, you don't have the right to tell them how to react to what you say or you write.
Exactly.
So
once you put something out for public consumption, you don't get a say in how it's taken. But compared to Mark's example, that would be like one person saying something completely idiotic.
Yeah.
My problem is you have the right to be an idiot, but when you bring in a whole nother race of people
Yeah.
that suffered at the hands of this, hot dude,
Mhm.
that's when it becomes
And you romanticize it.
It's exactly. Do not romanticize
It's
it.
not.
I don't have this is why I can watch like war movies all day long that's depicting, our history. But the second you show me a Jewish woman falling in love with her Nazi captor, I'm burning it. I'm done.
I'm out.
I will never watch anything they produce again, because you can't romanticize it. You cannot do it. If you want to go into that part of history, that's fine. And there's so many different, quote unquote taboo type relationships that you can do.
Yeah.
But this particular instance, you are taking under, what is the word I'm looking for? Underrepresented categories of people, like whole actual groups of humans that were demoralized, murdered, tortured. You're making out like that was just a myth, and let me put a rainbow on that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
the soldier killed 300 Jews, but then he fell in love with that good one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no.
it's just so ugh.
I agree.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Just don't ever pick up a pen again.
And the worst part about that is that if it gets being picked up by a trad publisher, at what point is a trad publisher going, oh yeah, that's okay? It just baffles me. Absolutely baffles me. Okay. Love the strong opinions, people. Love the strong opinions. One more quick question before we go and battle it out to see who stays reigning champion today on Booker Feud. Would you ever consider writing under a pseudonym?
I already do.
Stop it. What?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
What? You do?
Yes. It's in my, yes.
Well, hang on a minute. What do I do? Is this a pseudonym that people know? I'm freaking looking now. Is this a pseudonym that you're public about, or a pseudonym that you stay private with?
What do you mean?
Do you
want people to know?
I don't care that people know. No, I don't care that people know. But but at the same time, the thing with, you have just like really shitty opinions when it comes to people who, writers who choose to write under pseudonyms, and there's so many reasons to do so. So I feel like it may not, if it's not for you, great, but there are a lot of people out there, especially women, who use it for various reasons, and so that's what I use. And I've never said it's not. You know what I mean? I think before I shut it down, I think in my bio I had that it's a pen name.
Yeah. I did not know this, but I love it. I don't.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not pro nor anti pseudonyms. Personally, I'm too lazy for one. That's me as a stand. I'm just too friggin' lazy to build up the platform for another name. It's tiring. That's what it is. It's hard work to build up a platform brand.
You have a great name, though. Like, you have a great name. But see, like, for me, like mine, my like legal name, it's not marketable. It's not fitting. It just wouldn't work.
If I'd started with a pseudonym from the start, yeah, no problem. I don't have a problem with writing under something that wasn't legally my name. No problem at all.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't start up a new series under a different name because I can't be bothered building another platform. I'm lazy.
Right.
It's tiring to do that. There's so much work to build up a platform.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't be bothered. So, it's just like, well, whatever I write's just getting that name because that's where I started. And yeah, screw it. I don't care whether it's a kid book or if it's erotica. You parents just need to look at what you're buying before you buy it. Simple. Sintra has many facets to her writing. Simply that, look at what you're buying.
There you go. Look at what
I'm not anti it. If people write under different pseudonyms, you go for it. Do what you need to do.
I would never create like another one just because, like, even if I do kind of branch out and kind of play around with different, like, maybe subgenres and stuff, I'm not changing anything. I'm not adding anything. It was just, I knew before I even started all of this, that I wanted to write under a pseudonym, and I thought about me, my personality, my writing technique, all of that, and that's how I came up with Peyton Storm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
Mark, would you ever write under a pseudonym?
Well, everything I write has to do and touches on fantasy in some way. So I don't feel the need to even, I don't have a problem with that at all. I think that's fine. And I think in some cases it makes sense from a marketing standpoint. But I don't really have the desire to write anything that doesn't have some kind of element of fantasy to it. Even if it's a little bit off this direction or that direction. So I feel like there's probably enough crossover in the readers, because I know I like to read that way too. Everything that kind of touches in with that. So but I will say, when I thought about, well, what do I want the name to be on the books that I write? Mark Davis it sounded pretty plain and boring to me. So I was like, I don't know if that's got enough. So then, there's the common thing where you take the first and middle initial, and I was like, okay, MB Davis that sounds better to me. So it is my name. It's not a pseudonym, but it's kind of like a way of, like what Peyton says. What do you think is going to look better on the cover or be more marketable to people?
right. Yeah.
But would I go and create another kind of persona or pseudonym? Nah, probably not. I'm kind of lazy too.
Hang
Sounds
on.
like a lot of
I
work.
gotta clarify something. Peyton, did you mean that Peyton Storm is a pseudonym?
Yes.
Okay, but you haven't got another pseudonym.
No.
Oh, no, okay,
That's what
righty.
we
I
thought.
thought you meant that you wrote under a different name as well as Peyton Storm. I guess that Peyton
No.
Storm
No.
was
No.
a
No.
pen
No.
name. That's cool. And it's a
Yeah.
great
I
name.
was
It's
like,
friggin' beautiful. I love it. But I thought you
yeah, I
meant
love that name.
there was another name that you also wrote under, and then so I was like, hang on a minute, what the hell?
No.
I know. I thought you were moonlighting on Wattpad. I was like, what's
Exactly.
going on here?
What is
What's
it?
happening?
What's your other name? What's your other name?
You know, it was so funny. It was so funny. Like, when I first started thinking about it, I'm like, well, Like, it took like 2 seconds for me to come up with my name, because I felt like, okay, for me, the type of person I am, I'm driven. I want to be, I'm very competitive.
Yeah.
And then the type of romance that I wanted to write, and all of this and this. And I was
It's a
like,
great
you know
name.
what?
It's absolutely great name.
Peyton.
Yeah.
Well, here's a little tidbit that no one really knows.
Oh.
Or at least I haven't really said it publicly.
Oh,
But
exclusive.
Peyton came from Peyton Manning.
Of course.
Nice.
Of course it did. And Storm came from how I like to write those turbulent
Nice.
romances that,
So you've got your sporty turbulence.
Yes.
It's your genre in a name, isn't it, really?
Yeah. So
It's a great name.
I wanted the Storm on there. It just kind of gives and I think, especially in the genre that I write in, I think it kind of gives readers a glance like, she probably doesn't write all like rainbows and unicorns. Like, there's probably a little darkness that, in her books. And so, so far so good. I think
I love
never had
it.
someone say it didn't match. So thank you.
I love it. I just write under my name because I just thought, look, there's got to be a reason that I got given such a bizarre freaking name. So I'm just gonna use it and run with it.
But is that?
It's
But we've never talked about your name, because I'm not being from Australia. Is Sintra, is that a common name in Australia?
No, I'm the only one that I know. It's Latvian.
I assumed it was.
No, it's Latvian. It means amber jewel. Apparently my mum was like 53 months pregnant with me and about to burst, and I was supposed to be Penelope Jane. It's not my middle name now, so don't even ask me about that. Penelope, I know, I was supposed to be a Penelope, and I went, oh, thank. Anyway, she was at a barbecue. Yeah, she was at a barbecue one night, which is what you do when you're 53 months pregnant, apparently. And in walked a woman whose name was Sintra, and they fell immediately in love with the name. The woman said, please don't call your child this. It is a horrifically difficult name to grow up with. And they went, it's okay. So they cursed me with it. It was a very difficult name to grow up with. You are constantly explaining it, which is, I mean, it's good and it's bad. It gives somebody a way to have an icebreaker straight away. You don't have to sort of force a conversation. It's sort of an ongoing chit chat that I've had my entire life. But you know, as a writer now, I love the fact that it sits on a book so nicely. It looks very different to anybody else.
Yeah, it stands out.
You know, so
sure.
I sort of thought, well, you know, maybe that's why I have it. I don't know. But as you do, I couldn't see myself being like anybody else's name. I don't know. I should have.
No,
If I'd thought about it from the
because
start.
I've never heard it before, but it suits you so perfectly.
It's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. All right, we're going to go play a game. A Booker Feud. Booker Feud. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Do I need to explain the name or the game to you guys?
No, we got it. They'll figure it out when they're listening if they haven't heard it before.
Go straight into it. Of course, one Family Feud is the game that we play, but Booker Feud, 1 question, 5 answers. It's a simple one today, people. It's a simple one today. It shouldn't be any hassle. Let's just go team names, Team Mark, Team Peyton. We're good to go, right? Let's see what happens and whether Peyton can retain her 100% dominance in this game. 100% dominance, just saying. All right, the question is, name something people leave on the nightstand.
Mark.
Ooh, Mark's in fast. Let's go. What's something people leave on the nightstand?
They leave your book on the nightstand. You know, you're reading, going to bed, you set your book on the nightstand.
Is that your final answer? Who put Bible up there?
I'm going to say final.
Brian, really?
This is a writing show. It better be on there. Final answer.
Oh God, a final answer. I mean, Brian you're being serious about the Bible? Okay, not even saying, not commenting. Don't send me hate mail about that. Would it be the Bible on Mark's nightstand? Just saying. Yes, book is on the board, Mark. On the board. It's number 5.
Yes.
Well done. Breaking out nicely.
All right.
It's the last one on the board though, so.
Right, that's
Interesting. Peyton, name something people leave on the nightstand.
Their glasses.
Is that your final answer?
Sure.
It's on the board. It's number 2. Number 2 on the board.
That was a good one. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right, this should be a quick game. I like this. Name something people leave on the nightstand, Mark.
I'm going to say your TV remote control.
Remote control. Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
Papa, not on the list. Nope, not on the list. Not on the list. I thought we were going to have a full swing right through. All then, okay.
Oh.
Peyton, name something people leave on the nightstand.
Their cell phone or their telephone.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
But not on the list.
Wow.
Look, this is 100 Americans, people. You would have thought phone should have been in the top 5, but it is not. It is not.
Phone and TV remote. What the hell?
They might be doing other things in bed, not on the phone or watching TV.
That too, but come on.
All right, Mark, name something people leave on the nightstand. So far we have glasses and we have books.
Yeah. Okay. I do this, sir, so I'm going to kind of go with this. I'm going to say leave your keys.
Keys. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
I love how the boys are in there going on about Bibles and praying and hotels.
Yeah. What's going on right now? Have you guys been converted recently?
I don't know, but they're talking about hourly motels, so I'm not sure they're praying much.
I didn't catch that part. All right. We'll go keys.
Keys. No, Babao, not on the list. Not on the list.
Man.
Yeah, no. Peyton, name something people leave on the nightstand. I always think this is supposed to be simple. So far we have glasses and we have a book.
Okay, money.
Money. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
But not on the list. Not on the list.
Mm.
God, I don't even carry money anymore since COVID. Everything's just, I don't even find, I
Yeah,
never have cash on me. Nobody jumped me for cash because I never have cash on me. Name something people leave on the nightstand, Mark.
They leave on the nightstand, so it means it's not always there. That gives me some idea. I mean, I kind of like. Okay, I like Sarah. I don't know why I keep coming back to you, man. You're not giving me answers that are on the board, but I keep coming back. I like watch, like their watch or like something. Yeah, we'll go with watch.
What?
Final answer.
Is that it? Okay,
Yeah.
it's on the list. It's number 4. Watch is on the list.
There you go.
Oh my God.
No, sir, you don't like to watch. They leave. Never mind. Yeah, never mind.
The 2 of them are just going to town down there, aren't they? Oh my goodness. Peyton, name something people like to leave, or people leave on the nightstand. So far, we have glasses, we have watch, and we have books.
Okay.
Seriously, if you don't get one of these, I mean, you are the queen of one of these particular. Like you harp on to me about stuff. So,
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was about to say.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, they leave water.
Is that your final answer?
At all time. Yes.
Yes, it's on the list. It's number 3. We have 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have not got to a number 1 answer yet. But glass or bottle of water. I expected you to get that first, Peyton. I would have thought that was your first thing on the side of the thing. Have you hydrated today? No. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll go do it now.
It's so important.
No, well, my kids hydrate really well. Just saying. Just so you know. Name something people leave. Oh, we're on hang on, wait a minute. We're on a 2-2. We're on a tiebreaker situation. A tiebreaker situation with the number 1 answer up for grabs. So you want a clue? A clue.
Well, I mean, kinda.
Okay. All right. Clue, and then first person in with their name gets to go first. Glasses, sir, has already been done. It was number 2. We did that. Yeah. So instead of talking about motels and kneeling, perhaps listen. Oh. Just saying. Oh, it is. Name something that people leave on the nightstand. Okay, the clue is. This is it's old school. That's the clue.
Oh no.
Old school.
Old school. That means I should get this. I'm old school.
It's old school. Oh, wait.
Got to come in with your name.
Mark?
Oh, okay, Mark. Going first. Rightio. Name something people leave on the nightstand.
This is not going to be if this is on the list. You said old school. I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to say this and then let Peyton win. This is the only thing popping in my head. Like a handkerchief?
Handkerchief. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, it's not a good one.
Not on the list. Who does handkerchiefs anymore? I mean, seriously, they are the single most disgusting things in the world.
School.
The most disgusting.
My mother-in-law.
Who brings home their snot? Like, hey, Mum, here's my snot in a piece of fabric for you to wash. Oh, my God.
My mother-in-law does, and she used it all through COVID. And I'm like, what are you doing? I
can't.
What's wrong with you?
They are the single worst invention of the world. I don't understand what. Oh no, they're just. I don't want to take your boogie home, and I do not want to wash. Nope. I don't want Oh, they make me want to just vomit. Oh, okay, Peyton. I just can't. The handkerchief thing. No. Name something people leave on the nightstand. You are to swoop in now. Swoop in and win. Yeah. What's the number 1 answer?
I have 2 old school ideas. I don't know which one to go with.
You should say them both. Then if you get it wrong,
the only one that she says first will count.
Right.
Because there's a couple of good suggestions going on down in the chat there. Now we've got off motels.
I'm going to say And just because my grandmother used to do this, a flashlight.
A flashlight. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Papao, not on the list. People, I am getting really disappointed. It's like, come on. Papao. No. Okay, next clue. Next clue is name in to win. To get a chance to give me the answer, that is. All right, next clue. It may be old school the way they've said it on this list, but we all live by it. Maybe on a more modern device as of now. Mark was in there first. Mark. All right, name something people leave on the nightstand.
I'm going to say an alarm clock.
Yeah, that's it.
Because we all use our phones for that now.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer? Is that your final answer?
Yes. I just wanted to have anticipation. I just wanted to wait. Let's keep everyone in suspense. Yes.
Ding, ding, ding. It's on the list as number one. And you win. Holy shit. You win. Look at that. Good. The drought has been broken. And finally, Mark
all that water I've been drinking.
There you go. Hydrating the brain. It is alarm clock. For those playing at home, name something people leave on the nightstand. It is clock, glasses, bottle of water, watch, and book. No Bibles, no vibrators, no moisturizers. Although if you were looking at the side of my bed, perhaps it would be a different 5 you might get. Well, this has been
different moisturizers.
Different with the handkerchiefs.
And handkerchiefs.
Oh, God, that's so gross. So gross.
You have to do that.
He brought it up now. Just yuck. There's so much yuck.
No.
You just did it. All right.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and it was the three boys, honestly. It's Brian, Sarah, and Mark. The trio is just terrible. Terrible. But we love you. We love you all.
Yeah.
Look, today's been an interesting episode. Lots of strong opinions being brought forward, which I love. Anything you want to discuss, bring it to us. Send us a DM on the Twitter What the Book feed. If you want to ask us a question, send it up there. We'll discuss it. Look, Brian, Sir might be a bad influence, but you don't sit back in this innocent corner. We know enough about you, Brian. You ain't no choir boy. No. As I said before, we were supposed to have a guest on today. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it, but we will reschedule because that's what we do. It's the way What the Book's always been live. That's how we go. Sometimes we have to swing the door in different directions and hope it doesn't hit us in the arse. Or maybe we do want it to hit us in the arse. I don't know. Peyton the Storm. It is always a pleasure to sit and talk to you. I love this hour in my week where I get to sit and talk to you guys.
I do too.
It's a
Peyton Storm. That is even your real name.
She's probably on 53 different FBI lists already, I know. MB Davis, if that's your real name. It's been wonderful to have you here.
Oh, I love being here.
It's good when we can sit there and really, feel the freedom to voice opinions, have them heard, get discussions going in the industry. I like it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now next week we have same podcast time, same podcast channel, different podcast guest. We will fly from there. Thank you guys for being here. It's been a wonderful hour.
Absolutely.
Now that's silent.
You were keeping us in anticipation?
And I was like, what?
Yeah, no. And, of course, thank you to our crew downstairs. Oh, that sounded kinkier than I intended, but you know what I mean. Brian, Sir, who else was down there? Was there Margie? I did see Margie. Welcome, and thank you for being here and supporting us. We really do appreciate people turning up and being part of our show. Until next week, stay safe. Buy Hell's Bells because it's out.
Yes.
Leave a review,
Yes.
read her. Stalk us all on our different social medias, whether you're on Instagram or Twitter. None of us like to play on Facebook because it's blur. But TikTok, how about everyone come and hunt us down on TikTok? Let's play some
Yes.
TikTok games
Yes.
this week. All right, woo! All right.
Facebook is the handkerchief of the social media platform. So just don't do it. There's a lot
Oh
of
my God.
gross things over there. You don't want anything to do with it.
That is the perfect analogy of Facebook. It's a handkerchief of social media. A lot of dried up substances over there. Excellent. I'm getting out of here before I really do get hate mail. All right. Love you all. See you next week. Stay safe. Bye for now.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.